You're listening to the International Moving Podcast, your guide to moving to another country, brought to you by SDC International Shipping, LA's finest. An international move is exciting. It's a time to start over, establish a new business maybe, reestablish family ties, or retire where your budget will do more for you. Please enjoy today's episode, and if you have any questions about your international move, give us a call at 888-779-3962. That's 888-779-3962. All right, welcome back, everyone. This is Jim for SDC International Shipping. Thanks for joining me for today's podcast episode. About, I would say, a week or so ago, I was informed that SDC was moving a group of very high-end pianos known as Bosendorfers from Austria here to the United States. And so I began to look into the process of what goes into moving a high-end piano, whether you're talking about a Bosendorfer or a Steinway. I'll talk a little bit about the pianos in just a moment. But I know that when it comes to making an international move, most people have one or two items in their minds that might be causing them more stress or more concern relative to the move than anything else. For example, maybe you have an antique curio cabinet, or you have something that is very fragile, very old, or very expensive. And that is the one thing that in the back of your mind, you just dread the thought of something happening to it. Yes, there's such a thing as insuring something. Of course, you're going to have insurance anyway, but the idea of it breaking, some things are just not replaceable. In other words, you want it moved properly. You want it moved by people who know what they're doing. And so when I heard these pianos were being moved and they sent some photographs to me, I kind of dug into the topic. I just found it fascinating because, again, when you talk to people who are in the midst of preparing for a move, you have a lot of things on your mind. The paperwork, visas, your new home, getting things turned on in one location, getting things turned off in another, all your correspondences, updates with phone numbers, addresses, things of that nature, the legal side of it. Then, of course, you have the physical items in your home that you may be moving. And usually, with most people, I would say, especially you're talking about a large household, there is concern over one or two items. And I thought moving a grand piano, I think, would be probably the poster child for concern when we're talking about making sure that something is done properly and correctly. Some things are just not replaceable. Insurance aside, they hold a sentimental value. They mean something more than the dollar value assigned to them. But of course, if there is a high dollar value assigned to something, that is going to be something of concern. So when I looked into this project that SDC was involved in, moving a group of Bosendorfer pianos, I couldn't tell how many there were. I have a few photographs right in front of me, and these are actually on the website. If you go to our website at sdcinternationalshipping.com and you check out Moving Tips, which is where our blog is located, there's an article there called Packing and Moving a Bosendorfer Piano Overseas. There are pictures in here. I'm counting about, 6 to 8 of them. So let me explain a little bit about these pianos. I'm not a piano person. I'm not a music person other than enjoying listening to music like everyone else, certain types of music. But I never really had an interest in disciplining myself to learn how to play the piano. I've always admired people that can play the piano as though their fingers have a life of their own. It's really impressive. But I never heard of a Bosendorfer piano before this. I heard of a Steinway piano. But just to compare the two so you can get an idea about this, a good Bosendorfer piano, if you're going to buy it today, on the low end, we're talking about just about $89,000 in 2024. On the higher end, we're talking just a little bit over $300,000 for a piano. So I found one kind of a mid-range one. The MSRP was $121,000. $999, $121,000 for a piano, and the Bosendorfer 170 VC priced at $146,999. So I'm just looking at some pictures. You can see what the piano actually looks like unpacked online. Just look up Bosendorfer. That's Bosendorfer, Bosendorfer pianos, and you'll see what I mean. The pianos that I was personally familiar with or heard about over the years is the Steinway piano. So the main difference between a Bosendorfer and a Steinway is their origin. Their origin, and then the string tension, the tone, the materials, and the design. So the Steinway pianos are the kind you usually see in the movies when the person's on stage. Going back years, Steinway pianos have been around forever. I'm not sure how old the Bosendorfers are, but the Steinways are made in the traditional English, I guess you'd say the English tradition of making pianos, while the Bosendorfers are made according to the Austrian tradition. And some of the differences between the two are the string tension, the tone, the materials, the design, and so forth. So both brands have very high regard, but most professionals play the Steinway, most pianists, but a Bosendorfer is known for its tone. It's kind of a unique piano. So anyway, if you're moving something, an item that is that delicate, that fragile, I mean, imagine the damage that could be done. Maybe you don't want to imagine it. You need people who are specifically trained for this kind of move. And I never really looked into, until recently, SDC International, as far as the training that goes into this for the people who are actually doing your move on either side of the pond, whether you're leaving here in the United States or you're leaving a facility in Austria coming here into the United States. The people who will handle that kind of move are specifically trained for that. So if you call SDC International Shipping and you say, for example, I have a Bosendorfer piano or a Steinway piano or a highly sensitive, very expensive piece of equipment, and I want to make sure that it's handled properly, just know that SDC International Shipping has individuals specifically trained for this kind of move, so they'll be assigned to your move. And so from the initial considerations of what it is that you're going to be moving, what the timeline is, where it is that you're going to, when you call and talk to someone at SDC International Shipping, just rest assured that they'll ensure that the safety and well-being of your, whether it be a piano or anything else, that we have the people there for that specific kind of move and that for that specific kind of packing. So this is where professional assistance is really important. And nothing against people who are just strong individuals and their responsibility is to move crates or boxes. That's one kind of moving. But there's another kind of moving where you have to have everything just done in a certain way to assure that when that item is unboxed at the final location, and in this case, we were talking about pianos, grand pianos, expensive grand pianos, that the tune and the sound and everything is going to be exactly the same it was before that instrument was created. And there's going to be no damage at all to this piano. So the trust that goes into the capability of a traditional moving service and the trust that goes into the capability for specialized moving, they're two different things because the delicate nature and intricacies that go into an instrument require a specialized type of knowledge and on training in the art of piano relocation. I was just thinking sometimes in those old movies, you would see them moving pianos in the city, and you would see the piano being heisted or hoisted, I guess you would say. Heisted is something being stolen. Hoisted to the second floor or the third floor of a house in like a New York City or a Chicago, and all these people would be there trying to steady it and get it up there. Yeah, a lot has changed since those days, but the right kind of professional assistance in this context, it's not just a convenience, it's a necessity. So expert piano movers will bring a level of precision and care to the project that you're not going to get from just a regular traditional mover. And these types of individuals understand the unique structural aspects of, let's say, a Bosendorfer piano. From the sensitive strings to the intricate hammers, they're equipped with the right tools and techniques on both sides. Number one, it has to be disassembled, it has to be packed, and then it has to be transported with the utmost care. So by trusting your piano, a grand piano, an expensive grand piano, to professionals, you're ensuring that every aspect of the relocation process is going to be handled with the attention that it deserves. And this not only safeguards your instrument from potential damage, but it also provides you with the peace of mind and knowing that your piano is in the hands of individuals who comprehend and completely understand not only its value, but its fragility. And so I was looking into this move in particular because, like I said, it's such an expensive and intricate and easy to damage, fragile instrument. The Bosendorfer pianos, I guess we could say the same thing about the other brands, but this one in particular are considered to be special due to their unique craftsmanship and design because they have a unique and very distinct sound. If you're if you understand, if you're a seasoned pianist, for example, you understand the difference in sound from a Bosendorfer to other types of pianos. The company's pianos are made with a high quality wood that's similar to the construction of a violin. And it results in a warm, yet what some people describe as a colorful sound, often described as the Bosendorfer DNA. And Bosendorfer is also known for its independent capo diastro, which is a detachable component that ensures precise adjustment in the upper register, guaranteeing that unique sound for more than just one generation. The pianos are recognized for their resonance case principle with the thin resonating rim, which contributes to their unique tone and sound quality. So you look at the combination of craftsmanship, materials, design elements, and that's what sets these pianos apart and contributes to their special status in the world of piano manufacturing. So everything starts with a special type of packing technique. So at STC International Shipping, they have expertise in packing and shipping high value items, not just pianos alone, of course, but other things as well. And there is a team of experts specifically trained again to handle the intricacies of packing delicate items, including delicate musical instruments, so that we ensure that they arrive at their destination in pristine condition. So the packing techniques work like this. There's four parts to it. Number one, there's the custom crating. So at STC, they have the specialized packing process that involves creating custom crates tailored to the dimensions and the contour of the object. So in this case, if we're talking about a piano, the crating is going to be designed specifically for the contours of the piano. So the crate acts as a proactive shield, if you will, from external impacts during the transit. But inside the crate, number two, you're going to have padding and cushioning. So every inch of, let's say, a piano is going to be meticulously padded and cushioned to absorb shocks and vibrations. This is very important. It's important in any kind of packing, actually, to protect items, fragile items, and all the more so with the piano. So from the keys to the frame, the SDC packing experts use materials that provide an additional layer of protection. So we go from the exterior custom crating to the interior padding and cushioning. Next, we have the climate control. Now, a lot of things are affected by humidity. If you've ever ordered furniture that's been sitting in a warehouse for a while, and even though it's covered with plastic, sometimes the climate control is not something that they take seriously, And so humidity gets inside the plastic, and then there's a smell that adheres itself to the materials that's hard, sometimes difficult, or some people will say even impossible, depending on how long it's been sitting there, to get rid of. And so climate control affects a lot of things. Now, we're talking about a piano. A piano is also going to be affected by environmental conditions. And so here at SDC, we use a climate controlled type of storage, climate controlled storage, and climate controlled measures within the packaging. So this helps to maintain an optimal temperature as well as humidity levels throughout the entire journey from the time that it's packed at its origin to the time it arrives at its destination. There will be very little, if none at all, variance in what happens inside of the packing as far as climate control goes. Now, of course, we can talk about different instances where unexpected things happen, and that's another benefit of working with somebody who has been in the industry for a while. SDC International Shipping is celebrating its 14th year this year, and so we've been doing this week in and week out, day in and day out, and we know the measures that have to be taken, and we know how to keep your valuables as safe as possible. So we have the custom crating, we have the padding and cushioning, we have the climate control, both inside, interior, and exterior. Next comes the secure fastening. So the packing process ensures that every component of the piano is securely fastened within the crate, preventing any internal movement that could potentially cause damage. And so, yes, by choosing STC International Shipping, you'll benefit from a team of professionals who understand the unique requirements of shipping not only a Bosendorfer piano, but a Steinway or any other type of valuable musical instrument, artwork, any other thing like that you can think of. Now, of course, we're not the only international shipper in the world that understands this. There are others, but I'm just sharing this information for you because not all movers are created equal. And if you're moving internationally, this is a specific type of situation that differs greatly from moving, let's say, from state to state, or just moving something in a truck. We're talking about a process in which the items are going to go through customs, maybe packed in a crate. We're talking about door to door shipping by people that specialize in just that. So by working with a company like SDC International Shipping, you'll be working with people who are committed to excellence from the start to the finish, and that is especially reflected in the secure packing techniques that are employed to make sure that everything is done for the safe arrival at its overseas destination. So as I said, SDC International Shipping has been around for 14 years. We have customer reviews. The satisfaction of SDC's customers really does speak volumes about the quality of their services. And so we encourage you to explore the testimonials and reviews and the experience that other people have had. Of course, no matter what shipping company that you look at online, you are going to see some negative reviews there. Honestly, I know this from being in the internet world a long time. There are negative reviews that are fake, and there are positive reviews that are fake. And so, what you have to really do is dig down into the reviews, no matter what it is. Recently, we spent a little bit of money on replacing a washer and a dryer that we had purchased. And we had purchased a new set probably, I don't know, 3 years ago, and we were just really unhappy with the quality of the machine, with the way it functioned. And after a certain amount of time, it was almost unusable. And when I went online to see the reviews, we bought it when it was fairly a new model on the floor, not to get into washers and dryers in detail. But I'm just sharing this with you because when I went on to look at the reviews, there were people that had nothing but positive things to say about it. And it's not that I don't think they were telling the truth, I believe they were. But when I went through the negative reviews, and I went through enough of them, I found that they were all pointing to this same issue over and over again. And I think that's the way you have to look at reviews today, no matter what it is that you're purchasing, product or service. You may find a review that says, I would never buy clothes or appliances or anything from this company again, or I would never eat at a certain restaurant again. But if you go, for example, with a restaurant, excuse me, and you see 90% of the complaints all have to deal with waiting time, that the person waited to be seated, and then the party waited to be waited on, and then they waited for their food to arrive, and then it was like pulling teeth to get the final check. Then you know that because the negative reviews are consistently about that one thing, that if you go there, you're probably going to be spending more than just an hour there because the wait time is their weak link. And I think that's the same thing with any other service that you buy online. If you take 100% of the negative views and everyone is talking about the fact that items were broken when they opened the boxes, then obviously that company needs to improve and get that right in that area. And so that's what I mean when I say go online and check out the reviews so that you know that you're working with a reputable company. Now, SDC has a global network. As a seasoned shipping company, they've established a robust global network. And this network ensures that if you're moving, like we're talking about pianos today, that piano is in safe hands from the moment it leaves your doorstep to its arrival at the international destination. And also specialized services. When you know a company is specializing in relocating delicate items like expensive grand pianos, then you know that they have a tailored service available for you that you can take advantage of, and you don't have to lose sleep over whether or not your item is going to arrive in one piece or not. I know there were times when I moved over the years and I just moved within the United States. I did my own packing. I learned a little bit more about packing. Other members of the family packed. And when items arrived at their destination, I just remember the feeling of holding my breath as we cut those boxes open to take the items out. And I would say about, if we had maybe 2 or 3% breakage when it came to things like cups or glasses or dishes, I considered that a win. But when you're dealing with an international moving company with experience, they're not looking at it like that. They want to make sure that everything is designed to get it over there 100% the same way it left. So, and now let's talk about the costs of shipping internationally. Let me just break down how the costs work, just so you have an idea. Now, I'm not going to give you the actual cost of shipping a piano. When you ship a piano along with household goods, it's a different situation altogether. When you're shipping 7 or 8 Bosendorfer pianos together as a group, it's a different situation. So let me just explain to you briefly how the breakdown works when we're talking about international shipping costs. Number one, you have the transportation fees. The primary component of shipping costs involve the transportation of, let's say in this case, a piano from the origin to the destination, and this includes the actual shipping charges incurred during the transit of it. Number two, you have the customs, duties, and taxes. The international shipments are subject most of the time to custom duties and taxes imposed by the destination country. What I mean by most of the time, every country has its own laws. I'm just giving you a broad look at where these fees are coming from. So it's important to research and factor in those costs, customs duties and taxes, to avoid any unexpected financial costs that you may not be taking into consideration. So we have the transportation fees, customs, duties, and taxes. Next, we have the insurance coverage. So even though insurance is an additional cost, it's a crucial investment. If you have something that is 89,000 to 300 plus thousand, of course, you want to have special insurance taken out just for that. And so understanding the coverage and cost of insurance, again, you want to figure that into your overall shipping costs for that. And next, of course, is the packing materials. Quality packing is integral to the safety of not just Bosendorfer pianos, but anything. The more fragile something is, then of course you have to factor in the costs associated with the specialized packing materials and the custom crating. All those things contribute to the overall shipping expenses. So by comprehensively understanding the breakdown of international shipping costs, you can develop a realistic budget for a piano relocation as part of your international move, as part of the items that will be involved in your move. So at SDC International Shipping, they provide transparent cost estimates. So that way you're well informed about the financial aspects of the services, what's involved. Nothing is hidden, everything is there for you to look at. So if you have a Bosendorfer piano that you're going to be moving overseas, then I just encourage you, give SDC International Shipping a call. They can answer any questions that you have. And hopefully, if you're listening to this podcast episode before your move, then I've given you more reasons to have peace of mind when it comes to making this kind of move. So I think that's about all for today. I hope you enjoyed this episode. As always, you can reach us online at sdcinternationalshipping.com. You can get a free estimate there, where you're moving from, where you're moving to. You can call us at our toll-free number, 877-339-0267. We have several numbers, but that's the one that's at the website. And we always have people who are available to answer your questions, any questions that you may have, and help get you started in the international moving process. So that's it for today. This is Jim for SDC International Shipping. Thanks for listening. Please share this podcast episode with a friend. Share it online, social media, wherever you happen to be. Thank you for listening, and I will see you in the next episode.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode. Thanks for listening. Whether you're relocating within the country or moving to the other side of the world, we're here to help from start to finish. Connect with us today at 888-779-3962. That's 888-779-3962.